album flops that I loved. We're taking a look at 10 albums, or maybe a little bit more, that you didn't like too much, but I did. These are my favorite flops from least floppy to most floppy. Let's go. First off, this is a big one. We got to talk about Saint Anger by Metallica. This album sold 6 million copies. All right? The drums are fine. Shut up. The songs could have been shortened to half their length. I agree. It would have been a much more fun listen. But I can say that about most Metallica songs. They could just cut every song to 3 or 4 minutes. But Invisible Kid, The Unnamed Feeling, this isn't floppy, and it doesn't sound like Muppets pretending to be Metallica or whatever he said. I like most of these songs. Most of these songs I go back to, and they're pretty darn good. I don't know what all the fubbub was about. Next up, that was number 10. Now number 9, we're going to bunch these together as they were originally intended to be. We got a big old stack of Green Day for you. We got, where do we start? We got uno, dos, tres, and Father of All. So we're doing 9, 8, 7, and then Father of All, ... as number 6. But yeah, there's these 2 projects that Green Day have that just need to be defended a little bit. They are hated, despised, and put down at every chance. But the trilogy and Father of All, they're not flops. Not really. 1.2 million albums sold for the trilogy and 48,000 sold for Father of All. And those are good numbers, unless you're comparing them to a quadrillion sold an hour for Dookie and American Idiot. But Foam came out in 2020 when nobody was buying CDs except for me, and everybody else was distracted by worldwide calamities to notice how good this was. So I will admit that there are some weaker pieces of the trilogy and weaker parts of Foam. But if you cut out the Stab You in the Hearts and the Little Boy Named Trains, these records are the same quality as anything else Green Day have put in. They're not floppy. And I'll say, like, you don't want to listen to the whole thing. Put on Meet Me on a Roof. It's a bop. Take My Money and Crawl is hard rockin'. Sugar Youth sounds like classic Green Day. Missing You sounds like classic Green Day. Because I know you guys that hate Green Day, you don't want experimentation. So you guys could go to 99 Revolutions, Missing You, X-Kid. Those are like classic Green Day. This one, Dose is a little bit weird, but you could go to Stray Heart. You could go to Baby Eyes. Or Lazy Bones for classic, good sounding Green Day. This one, how did you guys even hate this? This is like classic Green Day. But I won't defend the weird stuff here because you guys don't want the weird stuff. But Fell For You, Rusty James, Stay the Night, it's classic, big time, mega $1 million Green Day. Green Day are great. They're just freaking epic. How could you not want 3 albums? How could you not want them to get weird? All right, now I'm calm. Weezer and Green Day, Metallica and Green Day have been defended. Now it's time for Weezer, the Weezer Hour. Doesn't matter what number we're on, right? This is the next one. This is the next album I'm defending. Where to even start with Weezer? You guys think that every other Weezer album is bad, or only the Color albums, the self-titled Color albums are good, but neither of those things are true, in my opinion. I think Pacific Daydream, Black Album, and Maladroit, no, I'm not defending those albums, because I think those are absolutely abysmal, but I think that everything aside from Maladroit, Black Album, and Pacific Daydream is perfect. And I think Ratitude is perfect. It sold 240,000 copies, had a couple of hits. And sure, Rivers is playing his stupid songs and writing his stupid words, but I listened to them. And before you finish typing that comment about Maladroit being good, all these years later, I'm still trying to give Maladroit a chance, but it just does not click with me. It's rough. It's rough. It's not as rough as Black and Pacific. Oh my God. But Ratitude is amazing. Even if I didn't pay full retail price for it, I got it at Earshot for $9. 100% guaranteed used product. Ugh. But oh look, I think it's even like not like a retail copy. It's like a, I don't know. Does yours look like that? Let's compare our Ratitudes. But if you're wondering if I want you to, I'm Your Daddy, The Girl Got Hot. It is a little bit poppy even for Weezer, but Can't Stop Partying is great. Put Me Back Together, Tripping Down the Freeway. Those are kind of mid. Those two songs are mid. Love Is the Answer is kind of mid. Let It All Hang Out is pretty good. In the Mall does kind of grind my gears a little bit, but I can tolerate it. And I Don't Want to Let You Go. It's 10 tracks. It's just really good Weezer. I feel like if they would have just called this the Yellow Album and had that as the cover, it would have been amazing. Everybody would have loved it. You would have loved it. Finn Ficanto, Anthony would have loved it. Everything would have been perfect in that world. Now we're going on to, I Gotta Hug You. We are all on hugs. For this next one. Offspring, Let the Bad Times Roll. 113,000 copies sold in 2021. And this one got negative reviews. I haven't heard anyone singing the praise for this one. I feel like it would have been better received if it came out in 2016, like 15 or 16, or 17, or 18, or 19, or 20. Oh, man. But the nearly 10 years between albums for the Offspring, it was a bummer for fans. But I understand, Dexter was going to school, he was doing research, he was flying airplanes, he was running triathlons, he was making hot sauce, and time got away from it. He was taking care of his family, but the songs are good, and I would recommend Behind Your Walls and Opioid Diaries if you're one of the people that always wants to skip this album because of the goofy stuff, because that's the real meat of this album. Those are some of the sexy ones. Also, those are the best ones. Coming For You is good. In the Hall of the Mountain King is kind of a throwaway, but it's good as well. Hassan Chop is fun. Hassan Chop has a lot of noodles flavor all over it, and this is just a good looking record. Alright, Weezer, Metallica, The Offspring, and Green Day have been defended. Now let's get into a little bit more obscure stuff with, where are they at? Okay, we're getting into the bands that have a more significant drop-off in album sales. And the first band we're going to talk about is the Smashmouth Band. Get the picture. Oh, I love this one. This one was number 100 on the Billboard chart, and virtually nobody in the world has ever heard of it but me. I fell in love with Smashmouth before All Star. I heard Walking on the Sun, and I was an instant fan. I bought Fushu Mang, Astro Lounge. I loved Astro Lounge just like you guys did. After those albums, I was bummed to see that a lot of fans jumped ship with their self-titled record. I know that self-titled was a slight step down in quality, but holy smokes, this was their return, not to form, but just return in an even better form on this perfect record. It's a shame that this album was kind of the end of their meteoric run in the 90s and 2000s. I really could have used some new Smashmouth in 2007, 2008, man. Roadman. If Smashmouth and Green Day had put out some 2007 records, Earth would be a better planet right now. We need a new planet. I was a rock, but you took me for granted. That's poetry from Steve, man. The Steve. Gotta show respect. What a freaking underrated band. Oh my God, Smashmouth. They rock my freaking socks off. They are on par with Green Day, Weezer, Metallica. They're on par with Metallica. And so is this next band. Eve 6. You know, the Wanna Put My Tender Heart in a Blender band were back after their first 2 albums were smash hits. And then this one, It's All in Your Head, it tanked. All in Your Head is my favorite Eve 6 sound. It's my favorite record by a punk rock mile. But alas, the record label did not promote this and fans did not buy it. Check out the song Good Lives. It's one of the best songs in all of history. But this whole record is a must listen. It is amazing. It just blows me away. It just wasn't in the cards for this to be a hit, but it should have been. I miss this personality of Eve 6. Without You Here, Think Twice, At Least We're Dreaming, Still Here Waiting, Good Lives, again, the greatest song ever. Hey Montana, Bring the Night On, Friend of Mine, Stay Alive, Don't You Leave Me Here, Don't You Hurt Yourself, Please Don't Hurt Yourself, God, Girlfriend, You're Really Gone, Girlfriend, Not Gonna Be Alone Tonight, Hocus and Arch Driveway, kind of in the album on not such a great role that it started with, but again, there's 10 songs of pure Eve 6 goodness there, and I cannot live without that CD. Now we got another band. This is, I guess this would be the number 1 spot if you've been keeping track. Slow Motion Daydream by Everclear. Before Green Day knocked them out of the top spot, Everclear were my favorite band back in the 90s and 2000s. From 95 to 2000, these guys were one of the biggest alternative rock bands on the planet, Everclear. And the weird double concept record, Learning How to Smile, Volume 1, did good, while Volume 2 didn't. Less we gotta move along in the notes here. But with songs like Wonderful on it, after Wonderful, Everclear kind of lost their momentum. The band member tensions exploded, and this album, this was released during a bad time for the band and their relationship with the label. The band wanted to promote New York Times as the lead single, but the White Men in Black Suits, Everclear reference there, they wanted Volvo Driving Soccer Mom, the really weird, goofy song, to be the lead single. And all the negativity led to 2/3 of the band walking out during this album and getting no promotion for this one whatsoever. 106,000 copies isn't a tragedy, but when you've sold 6 million albums prior, that's rough. That is rough for a band. And I highly suggest you check out the New York Times in honor of the band's decision. And if you want to rock hard, if you like hard rocking songs, I Want to Die a Beautiful Death and Blackjack. But this is a pretty darn good album. You got Science Fiction, The New Blue Champion, TV Show, Chrysanthemum. So there's a lot of slow songs and there's a lot of fast, hard rocking songs. That's the final shot of the band as a trilogy. Oh man. So real quick, just to kind of go along with that one, Everclear did enter a phase when the lineup completely, like when the rhythm section left, Art Alakakis replaced them with like kind of a larger band, like a 5 or 6, 7 sometimes, a bigger band, an ensemble. He had like 4, 5, 6 guys joining him, and they put out some records that I was extremely disappointed in. I was like, oh God, I thought that Art was the creative brains behind Everclear. So how come when Craig and Greg left, how come the albums got really, really rough and really bad? But then they came back with Invisible Stars in 2012, and this, I've never seen a band come back so strong after putting out some crummy albums. This is a perfect record. And I didn't think they had it in them, but they did. And unfortunately, this one, Everclear's star power has kind of become invisible. So there's not even any information on how much this is sold. I might be the only person that bought this CD, but it is a perfect record from 2012. Invisible Stars. There's the kind of newly invigorated lineup, which has kind of been shaken up again. This is amazing. This is an amazing 2012 rock and roll record. Tiger in a Burning Tree, Falling in a Good Way, Be Careful What You Ask For. Just 3 songs right off the bat. Wishing. Wishing is that's the song that I recommend. Wishing. Like, please don't hurt me the way that I hurt you. That's the vibe, and it is just soul crushing. I'm Better Without You is a highlight. Jackie Robinson is a really powerful song about racism. Rocket for the Girl is another highlight. Again, perfect record. 12 really, really great songs from Everclear. So go back to some of these 90s bands and Metallica, because I think we owe it to these guys to just say, hey, you did something kind of weird and different, and, we're here for it. We're here to see what you guys are messing around with in the sonic landscape of things. Thank you. I'm on a journey to hear every song ever recorded, and these were some floppy flops that maybe weren't flops, or I just liked them more than you did.